My name is Anwar Chirakadil. I'm currently working as a Chief Technology Officer at the Kobayashi Maru program within United States Space Force. So we host our platform, on Azure, Kubernetes, and all the stuff for our customers, so they can get to path to production. We have about 90 plus folks working in our environment. That's not including our customers. If you take into customer, that's about 500 plus people. Based on what I have done at Kessel Run program, one of the Air Force program that I work with, and Platform One, another Air Force program, they're all self-hosting Mattermost. So that was another, key decision for us to look at is our data sovereign, like being able to control our data, that, all the messages and stuff, and making sure that it's not going through an external system, and then having the ownership of the data that we have and control from that standpoint. So that's why Mattermost came into picture, because you can self-host Mattermost, unlike a SaaS solution where there's no concept of self-hosting. If you were to maintain that status quo of not changing it and not switching, there could be data leakage, what we call it, right? Where you're leaking data that should not be sent out of outside of environment. For a program like us, it could have severe impact, because if you look at it, a couple of instances was hacked about a year ago or something. I recall that incident where somebody was able to get into a customer workspace and post data. So if you think about that, if it were hacked and it's a SaaS solution, there could be a chance that some adversaries get to know about our program or all the things we are doing and use that information to their advantage to, attack us more or get into infiltrate our own systems internally. So it's like mostly a security concern. In the case of where we are self-hosting, Mattermost, the chances somebody can really get into is very tough, because we have what we call defense in depth, and very shared multiple layers of security for somebody. For example, right now it's tightly connected to our single source of truth called Active Directory, and where what a person has, what permission, etc. Right now, it's a single source of truth for everything. Everything is connected to Active Directory and LDAP, which is a great, from a benefit of this transition is that you don't have two sources of truth of who has access to what. And then it also, from a process standpoint, improved our onboarding and offboarding process too, because now onboarding, you're created an Active Directory. Offboarding, you're activated an Active Directory, which automatically deactivates your Mattermost access and etc. Which just makes, streamlines the process on our service desk team, support team. Business value, of course, is, it's a lot cheaper to host it, but the business value we still get is that we have more control on, what data we share and how we share, where we store it, etc. And then, but there's also a little bit of operational overhead that we take on, even, but at the end of the day, it's still much better, because for every single thing, we had to wait for several days of support tickets to come in. And then we had multiple different workspaces that was so challenging to manage. With Mattermost, we are single workspace. So from a business value standpoint, less burden on our support teams, service desk, even with an additional burden on the Kubernetes team to host it and maintain it. The business value is still that a single workspace, single streamlined set of users, more fine-grained control on what and exactly what's going on inside, and most importantly, of course, the data. Right now, we own the data, so all the chats and stuff, it's ours to own, and nobody else can look at it without explicit permission. The knowledge base aspects of it, one of the things we are looking at is integrating locally hosted or Azure OpenAI to integrate with Mattermost, where you have all this data, all this stuff, in here, and what is the potential of feeding that data into a large language model, and we can use our own data to answer quick questions about, for example, how many incidents we had in the last 6 months, right? But if you're doing that manually, you'll have to go through all the incident specific channels, figure out what actually happened, etc. Versus now integrating something like the AI helper. I think Mattermost has a plugin that you maintain that actually, we're looking to, utilizing that to get that knowledge base built up and then ask questions and stuff like that. And the other one, the one I actually forgot to mention, that we have all these plugins, but there's an assurance from the Mattermost marketplace saying that Mattermost actually vets these plugins for security check, which actually gives us this additional level of confidence in that, hey, if you're bringing a plugin to our ecosystem, it's actually, there's a vetting process that happened behind the scene for this. So that's an added benefit. You said the side effect, or, of this change was one of those, the like improved security posture for us. For us, it's important that we use a self-hosted, AI, or an AI that has a FedRAMP, like Azure AI, like OpenAI, it's actually FedRAMP high right now, which is certified for us to use. So we can use the hosted one. So what the looking at, use of Azure AI, OpenAI service, and then along with the, AI ops integration that Mattermost has, to be able to make use of our data, make everybody smarter and efficient. Like, for example, leadership, right? You might be in 50 different channels on a daily basis, and you don't have all the time to go read everything. But summarizing those channels, using AI would be really like make everybody more efficient and productive. Even if you're on a leadership, you're at a PM, product manager, and you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with your own developers and stuff, and you're away for a few hours, you want to catch up on all the things that happened. That would be, one of those ways where we can make our team more productive.